When the United States built the very first nuclear bomb on Earth, it believed itself the undisputed ruler of the globe, beyond anyone's reach. But that idea proved false. That solitary detonation ignited a perilous worldwide contest. And right now, 10 nations hold the secrets needed to construct atomic weapons. Certain countries assisted one another while others resorted to theft. Still, every single one depended on intelligence agents, cunning schemes, and covert pacts. In today's video, we will examine exactly how these 10 nations acquired the most lethal technology humanity ever created. We'll also look at the countries that nearly succeeded in developing it, along with those positioned next on the nuclear weapons roster. The entire narrative really kicks off in Germany during 1938. This marked the moment scientists uncovered nuclear fission initially. They discovered that shattering atoms could generate enormous power via chain reactions. That revelation rattled the global scientific establishment completely. The year after, Albert Einstein issued a serious alert to the United States. He notified the American authorities that the Nazis might convert this novel discovery into an instrument of war. Due to his cautionary message, the priciest and most clandestine scientific undertaking in history got underway. America initiated the Manhattan Project. It represented a colossal endeavor that brought together scientists from the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada. They devoted close to 1% of their entire GDP toward this solitary objective. They recognized that opposing German forces were already engaged in a similar endeavor, yet the Germans achieved remarkably limited progress. Germany capitulated in May 1945, and up to that point, they had failed to produce a nuclear bomb. However, come July 1945, the planet transformed permanently. During the Potsdam Conference, American President Harry Truman, Joseph Stalin, and Winston Churchill deliberated on the post-war global order. Amid those discussions, Harry Truman received a confidential update. The Trinity test conducted in New Mexico had succeeded. America had emerged as a nuclear-armed state. President Truman informed Stalin that the United States now owned a nuclear bomb. He anticipated visible astonishment from Stalin, but Stalin merely nodded and voiced hope that America would employ it versus Japan. Truman remained unaware that Stalin possessed prior knowledge. Soviet intelligence operatives had penetrated deep inside the Manhattan Project. Behind closed doors, Stalin seethed with rage that America had beaten him to the invention. In August, America unleashed 2 nuclear bombs upon Japan, thereby concluding the Second World War. Nevertheless, as the fallout from those explosions dissipated, an entirely new rivalry commenced. The Soviet Union emerged as the second nation to enter the nuclear fraternity. Their investigations commenced in 1941. They only grew truly alarmed upon observing that American and British researchers had abruptly ceased publishing articles on nuclear physics. They deduced that the research had shifted to classified status. Witnessing the ruin inflicted on Japan accelerated their program to maximum velocity. They had pilfered substantial quantities of American information, yet one significant obstacle persisted. They remained deeply distrustful. They feared American double agents might deliberately feed them inaccurate details to undermine their efforts. Consequently, they refrained from placing complete faith in the pilfered blueprints. They apprehended German scientists and used them to authenticate the entire body of research. They advanced far more rapidly than Western analysts had anticipated. In 1949, the Soviets exploded the RDS-1 device in Kazakhstan, thereby terminating America's sole dominance. The arms race within the Cold War had now formally commenced. You probably assume the third country would be the United Kingdom. After all, the British were close allies of the Americans. They had already completed considerable foundational work. However, per the Quebec Agreement, they were obligated to transfer all such research to America. The pact explicitly required mutual technology sharing between the two nations. But in 1946, America unilaterally abrogated that agreement. They enacted legislation that severed all exchanges of nuclear-related information. They intended to monopolize the atomic secrets themselves. Britain felt utterly stunned. They concluded that preserving their status as a great power demanded independent action. They retained the planet's largest uranium reserves along with substantial expertise. They proceeded with remarkable speed. In 1952, the UK detonated its inaugural bomb along the Australian coastline. The operation received the name Hurricane, and thus, Britain joined the ranks of nuclear states. But the landscape was evolving rapidly. The devices dropped on Japan relied on fission. During the 1950s, scientists pursued a far deadlier innovation. They engineered thermonuclear weapons, commonly referred to as hydrogen bombs. Instead of fissioning atoms, these weapons fused them. Such devices possess destructive power hundreds of times greater. Prominent scientists, including had multiplied by a factor of 1,000.